Yeah, good morning. Thank you. So I recently defended my thesis, and because I've been presenting the topic over and over, I decided to bring a topic that is a bit broad, looking at the conference, the context of the conference. So, in case you are confused and you want more information, I'll put the QR code just for you to read more about it. So the title is Why Early Competition Matters for Climate Resilient Mixed Forests. I think today there's been a lot of talk about mixed forests and monospecific forests. And the idea I want to share here is the fact that we can see the monospecific forest is talking about forest structure where the species have the same structure and more or less the same age and the same height. But the mixed forests, as we can see on the other side, have kind of like differences. But lately, there've been a shift from the monospecific forest to the mixed forest. And why so? So one of the main reasons is because due to climate change, the mixed forest tends to show a higher resilience as compared to the monospecific forest. So I'll show examples of what we can see when it comes to the mixed forest and the pure forest. So um, here we can see on the top part. So because of climate change, the first example we want to see is a drought. So we are comparing the drought, the condition of the monospecific forest with the mixed forest. So we can see here during drought, just because of the fact that the monospecific forests are the same trees, when they have to take water, they take it more or less from the same level of earth or the root system. Therefore, when there is drought, it's easy for it to be impacted negatively as compared to the mixed forest. Another example is the high heat stress. So when a monospecific forest face a high heat stress, the the observance is different from from the mixed forest. And another example is when it's affected by pests and diseases. Um, the mixed forests tend to show positive impact as compared to the monospecific forest. And also the infestation is the same. And lastly, the rainstorm. I think yesterday Hans talked about the rainstorm. So the mixed forests tend to show positive effects as compared to the monospecific forest. That means that mixed forest is quite important. But there are less information about the young mixed forest as well, because more research is done on the matured mixed forest, but the young mixed forests are also equally very important. Why? Because they actually determine the future of the forest. So this study actually looks at what we have to do when the mixed forest is actually in the younger stage, so that in future we can have a long-term future, which is also mixed forest. Um, so the question we pose here or we ask here is how does the early competition affect the tree structure and also the tree growth? So we're going to compare the two species that we study and then also check whether the competition affected directly or indirectly. The study was done in, of course, Spain, Burgos, Quintana de la Sierra. And as I said, it's focused on the young mixed stands. So these stands are very young. The reason why they are young, we focus on the young is because a lot of research is being done on the matured mixed plants. Okay, so the method we use was actually destructive method where we completely cut down the tree. So this was not a semi-destructive or an indirect estimation. It was a complete destruction of the trees. And the total number of trees we used was 90 trees. We measured the DBA, the height, the crown length, and also we determined the competition among the species or among the stands. And we used the basal area of the larger trees. The first outcome we had was the fact that competition actually affected all the relationships we took into account. I'll not go so much into detail because I'll share the paper so in case you want to have more information. Thank you. So when we So in this study, we studied only the Scotch pine and the Pyrenean oak. So therefore, we also have to check what is the behavior of the two species, what is happening to it under competition. So under competition, they tend to show different behavior when they are under competition or different strategies. The third one is the fact that we also had to check whether there is an indirect effect of competition on the biomass allocation. And clearly, competition increases the tree height. The tree height. Greater height leads to more stem and branch biomass, and foliage biomass is largely unaffected. So why these results matter? The fact that this result is very important because the early competition is it determines actually the growth and the development of the tree. So competition at the early stage is very important because it determines the long-term development of the forest. And also the species, one thing about the competition at the younger age is because the picture I showed previously, if you have three different species in the same stand, if you don't control the competition at the younger age, you realize that at the mature age, you only have two species or maybe one because the others have killed the other species or have dominated. Therefore, it is important to control competition at the younger age. And also, early decisions have lasting consequences. So, whatever we do at a younger age, for instance, when we think at the younger age, it has consequences in the long term. Its implication generally means that when there is an action or forest management to do at a younger age that is cost effective, we don't wait till the future to be able to pay more to do forest management. So it's better to do the management at a younger age because it's going to cost less. And also, there are factors that you can control at the early stage rather than waiting when the tree is 40 years or 30 years. Yeah, the take home message is that early competition matters more than we think. Species respond with contrasting growth strategies, and managing early stages is key to climate resilience. Thank you for your attention. And I also want to thank the people who helped me to be able to do this work and my supervisors as well. In case you want to read more about the paper, that's a QR code. Thank you so much.